Good morning, good morning, everybody. And welcome to Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. How's everybody doing today? I hope you're having a fantastic time wherever you may be around the globe. You know, y'all, it certainly is a beautiful morning. It's a beautiful morning to get those things done. You know, those things that you have purpose to do. Today is a fantastic day to just do it. You know, don't think about it, but just do it because there's so much that is going on right now. There's so many exciting things, and I hope that you feel that expectancy in the air. It's an atmosphere of expectancy. So let me ask you that question. What are you expecting? What are you expecting today? Are you expecting great things to happen to you? Because if you're expecting it, it will show up. It will show up. You have to have an attitude of expectancy, an attitude of gratitude, an attitude of saying, I'm a winner, and believe it. You have to believe that about yourself, that you are a winner. Okay. And failure is not in your vocabulary, but you are a winner. How are you thinking about yourself today? Think about that. How do you feel today? How are you thinking today? It's time out to stop thinking ordinary thoughts. But you have to think those things that are extraordinary. Extraordinary. Extraordinary things about you. Expand. Because this is truly a time of expansion. It's a time to expand. It's a time to renew. It's a time of rejuvenation. Everything, y'all, everything around you. Look for the beauty around you. Look for the abundance around you. Don't have that closed mindset or that closed way of thinking that, you're limited or, you don't have anything to offer. Or, who wants what I have? Excuse me for a second. But think about it as somebody is looking for me. Somebody needs what I have to offer. Because, excuse me, they certainly do. They certainly need what you have to offer. So, as we talk more about this today, and I'm going to share some things with you. Excuse me. I'm going to talk about today insight to complete your goals. Insight to complete your goals. And as I talk about this, as I dive into this, I want you to open up your imagination and see yourself as significant. See yourself on the big stage of life. Excuse me. See yourself as having value, as having all these treasures and gems on the inside of you. I want you to begin to see yourself in a different way. And not the ordinary way that maybe you have approached yourself. It's all about coming into an awareness when I'm talking about approach. Do you know that there's something called approaching yourself? How do you approach yourself every day? Do you wake up mediocre? Or do you wake up with that atmosphere of expectancy? And it makes a difference, y'all. It makes a big difference of how it will carry you throughout the day. Remember, frame your day. I talk about this often. I do it all the time. I've been doing it for years. Getting up in the morning. Before I get in the presence of others, I get in the presence of God, number one. And I empty myself out. And I ask him to fill me for that day for what I need for that day. And then I get in the mirror and I look myself directly in the eyes. And I say, Gertrude, if I'm tired, if my body just don't want to get out of bed, you know how it is sometimes, y'all. You drag yourself out of bed. You really don't want to get up. Okay, but you drag yourself out of bed. And I tell myself, Gertrude, today is going to be a fantastic day. Gertrude, today you're going to crush those goals, those things that you have placed down on that paper. You're going to crush them. You're going to meet all of your expectations. As a matter of fact, you're going to exceed your expectations. And I talk to myself in different ways. Whatever, is going on in my life, I come against that by speaking the opposite. Why continue to why continue to repeat the way that you're actually feeling? Speak the opposite and cause your body and your mind to come into an alignment with your dreams, with your goals, with your vision. You certainly have the power to do that. If you having a blah day, hey, get up and say this. I'm gonna complete this goal. I'm gonna write this first chapter of my book. I'm gonna create this product or this service. You see, that's what Turning Your Passion in the Profit Morning Show is all about. Many of you have products and services have messages, and you have yet to start because you're feeling some type of way. You're not encouraged enough. You're not inspired enough. And you're looking for somebody to inspire you. You're looking for things on the outside to motivate you when you can motivate yourself. So frame your day. I promise you, when you start framing your day and coming into that understanding, you'll never go back. You'll never neglect each and every day as you wake up in the morning, you'll begin to frame your day because it makes a big difference, a tremendous difference. And let me introduce myself right now to those of you who don't know me. I'm Gertrude J. Chapman, and I teach you how to maximize your potential and stop leaving money on the table. Stop leaving money on the table because this is your season to win. This is your season to not struggle. There should be no struggling in your life, y'all. If there's struggling in your life, if it's a money situation that's going on, if it's, whatever situation that may be going on in your life, you shouldn't be struggling. You shouldn't. And I'm going to tell you why. You may be saying, well, Gertrude, it's easy for you to say, but you don't know what I'm going through. Because I want to tell you, you have everything you need inside of you to make it happen. Don't forget that. You are brilliant. You are a creator. You could create your way to success out of any situation. I did it. I'm no different from you. I did it. When I was suddenly laid off, twice back to back, when the housing market went bust in 2006, through no fault of my own, I took a hobby, which at that time was writing, okay? And it still is. It's not a hobby anymore. It's something that I turned into a business. And like I said, I turned that into a business out of my situation. I didn't know I had it inside of me. I was just writing for fun. Okay, that's all I saw because I was doing it to expand my mindset. Okay, to see how far I can expand my mind and come up with all these wonderful things these wonderful ideas, these wonderful storylines. Good morning, Robert. How are you doing today? It's so good to see you this morning. You are explaining very well. Thank you. I try to, break it down because, I'm not the only one, y'all, that's going through these things. But I took what was in my hands and I turned that hobby into a viable business. It started with me writing my books for profit instead of non-profit, okay? Because I can't even say non-profit. Let me not use that word. Instead of for free. It was a hobby before. I turned it into writing my books. And after my friends they saw my success, they would recommend their friends or, they wanted me to teach them how to write their books. And I taught them. You see, that was a business there. And then I started publishing their books. See, that's another level. Then I coach people on how to write books. I collaborate. I have a collaboration that's taking place right now with a few ladies that we're writing this book. And I have all the material together. Just have to put it together. So everything that you need is on the inside of you in whatever situation that is. So you could reach it if you understand it. Okay? You could reach it if you understand it. And that's the basis of what I'm going to talk about today. Insight to complete your goals. You have to have insight. And the second part of that is, are you owning it? Are you owning it? But it says wisdom is the principal thing. I'm talking about insight now. Wisdom is the principal thing. But with all that getting, get an understanding. Understanding is what gives you a picture. It gives you a picture. Just like I'm looking at this screen, at this monitor. And, there's a reflection of myself through this. And it's also everything else that's on this board. Okay? That's how clear. Once you get an understanding, that's the clarity that you'll have in order to complete your goals. I talk about this, about your vision. You'll have that clear picture in front of you. And it's not, an emotional thing. It's not anything that's geared to the natural eyes because, your eyes could be very deceiving. That's why they have people, when there's something that takes place, they have witnesses, and one person may see it one way, another see it another way, and another one see it completely opposite from what the other two. Everybody sees it in a different way. And the eyes, y'all, could be very deceptive. You may think that you see something a certain way, and it's not that way. Or it could have multiple ways that you see things from a different perspective, okay? Let's lay that out there also. But once you get an understanding of something for your business, for your message, for that product or that service, you'll see it. You'll see it. That's why it's so important to write down your vision. Write it down and make it plain in detail. So as you're traveling down your road or your journey, whether it's a writing journey or that entrepreneurial journey, you'll have that crystal clear picture. Okay? Crystal clear. insight to complete your goals. Yesterday, I talked about velocity of a sound mind. And what that was, stability. Stability matters, okay? Stability matters. You have to be stable. So you're not going for this idea, this day, somebody's pulling you over here and you think that's what it is. And then you get tired of that and you say you look for something else and you're over here. And next time you're over there. And being on these internet streets and coming into, or different platforms with different people and seeing them, one day they're over here, 6 months down the line, they're over there. And you see some stuff. And it's not for any of us to criticize or judge, because you know what? We all been there at one time or the other, right? We all been there. I was there when I was climbing up the corporate ladder until I got redirected. I wouldn't have got laid off the second time if I would have took notice to what had happened, what was happening in my life. But I'm going to tell you, those double layoffs were the best thing that could have ever happened for me. The best thing. So I want to encourage you today to have that insight to complete your goals, because it's possible for you. It's possible for you. Remember, with all thy getting, get an understanding, because an understanding makes it crystal clear. Crystal clear. Let's go to the comments. Don't be pushed around by the fears in your mind. Be led by the dreams in your heart. And that's certainly true, Robert. That is certainly true. We can't be pushed around by those fears in the mind. Those fears. As they said, they use acronym, false evidence appearing real. We always have to be led by the dreams in our hearts. And we can't give up on those dreams. We cannot give up on our dreams. And some of you out there may have dreams. And you had dreams maybe when you were younger, or maybe in a different stage in your life, maybe as a child. And you're thinking, well, it's too late for me. But you know what? It's never too late. It may be in a different way, depending on the situation and circumstance. But let me tell you this. Your dream is just lying dormant. It's not dead. It's not dead at all. It's just lying dormant. Don't ever forget or push aside your dreams, because you are worth it. You were born with a purpose, and somebody is waiting on what you have on the inside. And don't go to the grave with that dream still inside of you. There's still time. So within whatever capacity that you may be in at the present time, write the vision down and make it plain. Detail it, your plans, your goals, your strategies. And go for it. Be encouraged today. You'll have insight to complete your goal, because you'll get an understanding with this, okay? Nobody can see your dream like you can. And I want you to see it crystal clear. It's just lying dormant. It's not dead, okay? But the fears in your mind, we have to dismiss those fears. And the only way you could dismiss those fears by getting an understanding of who you are and what you have to offer. And I'm going to talk more about that as I dive into this, okay? And I'm going to go to the first talking point. It says, think beyond the way you think. I put something up on social media today. And it says, think beyond the ordinary way that you think. And you'll think beyond that once you can understand, because understanding opens up your perception of seeing. Okay? Seeing. The eyes of your understanding, let the eyes of your understanding be enlightened. Okay? That's more than your natural eyes. That's the eyes of your spirit, the eyes in your heart. Okay? Those eyes. And I'm not talking about the one that's pumping that heart. I'm talking about your spirit man, what's inside of you, who you are. Okay? You have to come into an agreement or into an understanding of who you are. And once you do, then you'll be able to think beyond the way you think. Because you'll understand who you are. You'll be able to see it. You'll see those possibilities. Because everything is possible to you if you only believe it. You have to believe it. So think beyond the ordinary way. And in order to reach that height, in order to dive into that depth, you have to use your imagination. Use your imagination. You know, I jumped up out of bed today, and like I said, I'm doing this collaboration with a few ladies. I'd asked them this, a year before, prior to, but it's taken this long to do it, and that's okay, because sometimes, and it's been a hard year, past 2 years for a lot of people, different things and everything. So I wasn't worried about that. So I had a complete picture of what needs to be done. Of course, the vision is there and everything's there. And I got up and I wrote it down. So this is something, you'll see it and you use your imagination and you'll begin to put things into place. And from there, you write it down. And that's the steps that you follow. Do you understand? That's the steps that you follow. So you have to think beyond what you're thinking and use your imagination to get you to that next level. Your ideas, your plans, your strategies, to reach those goals. So insight to complete your goals. Are you owning it? Are you owning it? The next part I want to move into is work to achieve. Excuse me. Having these sinus issues today. Just bear with me. Thank you. Work to achieve. Check your flow daily. Okay? When I'm talking about insight to complete your goals, check your flow daily. It's a daily thing. Your insight should be flowing. It should be a daily flow. There shouldn't be anything that cause a delay, or what I want to say. What's the right word I'm looking for? Or a struggle. Put it that way. A struggle or anything of that nature. If there is something that's trying to cause a blockage, now you're able to see it. Because you remember, you wrote it down, okay? You're able to see it. So this is something that you should check daily, because each day is different, y'all. Each day is different. No, that's why you get up in the morning and you frame your day. Don't worry about yesterday, what didn't get done. Don't worry about tomorrow that's not here. But just today, be in the present. Be conscious. Okay, be conscious. I never do anything, not even these live streams, without me having a vision for it before it happens. That's why I know when I'm doing conferences or whatever I'm doing, if something is out of place, because I've seen it before. I've seen it before. And now, because you have written it down, now you know how to fix it. You know how to fix it because you've seen it before. And now you have the strategies Now you have the game plan in order to fix that thing. Okay? So insight to complete your goals. Work to achieve. Check your flow daily. Remove anything that keeps you from growing and flowing. Remove those things that's no longer necessary on your design path to reach your ultimate goal. Some things are, you've been doing them for so long, you're involved in these things, and it was only for a time period. That season has gone. Okay, that time has passed. Other things you're doing by obligation because you feel guilty if you don't continue to do it. But what is it benefiting you? Is it pointing you towards your goals? Is it pointing you towards your dreams? Or is it reducing you? Does it have you weighed down where you can't flow? That where you're struggling? Here's another one, where you're barely making ends meet? There's some things that you have to let go of. You have to see your value, audience. You have to see your worth. Don't allow situations, circumstances, people, places, or things weigh you down. Okay? Don't allow that. You have to begin to teach people how to treat you. You have to know who you are. You have to know what you have in your hands. You have to see your value, see your worth, and stop allowing things to encroach upon you and to hold you back, wear you out, tie you down. Think about that. Think about that. When you're unapologetically you, and it's not saying that you're going to be rude or mean or anything to anybody, and if they take it that way, oh well, okay? But you are a human being. You have a purpose. You have a life. You have a dreams. You have visions. You have things to get out there and produce and create on the world stage. You're not in this world by yourself. There's somebody that's waiting on you. And I always say there's somebody's. You are the voice for somebody's. Okay? And they're waiting for you. 63,000 Google searches every second of every day are people looking for your voice. They're looking for your expertise. They're waiting for your voice. So it can resonate with them to change the trajectory of their lives. Not only their lives, but their families' lives, those people around their lives, and for generations to come. Now tell me that you're not worth anything. Tell me that you're insignificant. And I tell you that you're not. You're not at all. But insight to complete your goals. Work to achieve. Stop the struggling. You don't have to struggle. You could end struggling today. It's all in the way that you understand. It's in your understanding. Understand who you are. Understand what you have to work with. And that moves us right into this. Understanding. Okay? Understanding who you are. You have to understand that, y'all. Not who people expect you to be. Because sometimes people expect you to be something that you're not. I can't say that, my parents expected me to follow in their footsteps, of owning their own businesses, of, but I tried, okay, by going into real estate just like they were in real estate. And I told you, there's some things that you could do real well. And I did it real good. But that was, who I was. That's not what I was called to do. That's wasn't my my design pathway. I did it very well. I rehab real estate, own real estate, sold real estate, for my personal self. I was a realtor. I even started, at one time, I was thinking about buying a Century 21 franchise. Me and a friend of mine. I thought about that. And I was right on the brink, but that would have been a different story. I even did mortgages, y'all. I've done that. I did those things very well. But that wasn't my design pathway. I didn't know who I was. Not at all. So I understand now who I was, because after the double layoffs, then I was able to look inside of me and see who I really was. Not until you come to the end of yourself will you begin to look inside of yourself. But you don't have to wait for those suddenlies to happen in your life. You could do it right now. Because you may be facing a void right now in your life, that there's something missing inside of you, but you just can't put your hands on it. The only thing that you have to do is get that pen and get that pad, find that quiet place and go back and just, see who you really are. Describe yourself. Who am I? Ask yourself that question and start to write it down. What's in your hands? What do you have in your hands that you could turn into a monetary return? Or look at it this way. What do you have in your hands that could help others? What do you have? I have the ability to write books. I have the ability to encourage people or inspire people. That's the word I'm going to use, inspire, because I go for the root. Okay? I go for the root to change the way people ordinarily think. I want to bring people to an understanding. I just don't want to motivate them for a minute and just leave them there in that same condition. I come to shake things up. When I come to shake things up. You better believe that. Shake it up. Okay? Have you thinking beyond what you normally think? Have you acting beyond what you naturally act? I want to get you to a place, audience, where you can be unapologetically you, to maximize your potential and stop leaving money on the table. So these are some things that you could ask yourself. Who am I? What do I have in my hands? And then you have to know your tools. I didn't say the tools. I say your tools that are available to you. What do you have available to you? What can you use as leverage? What do you have to your advantage? What do you have? That's what you have to ask yourself. And seriously think about. Y'all, I'm in a much better position than I am now than where I was before. And I'm not talking about money at all here. I'm talking about that completeness, that wholeness. Okay? That place of, success. Success is more than money. Some success is knowing that you are on the right path and that you're helping others to reach their design destination. That's what success means to me. That's why I love doing what I do. Because I love other people. I love to hear testimonies. I love to hear testimonies. If y'all have a testimony out there, I'm your girl. I love to hear testimonies because I want to see people win, because I know it's possible for them to win, especially if you're my client. Especially if you're my client. And I hear it all the time from different people. And if I'm having one of those days where, every day, y'all, every day, it's not, a high day. There could be things in your life on a day-to-day basis. That's why I say take each day at a time where you having one of those days. And then you get a testimonial. Something will come through the email or your messenger or something of that nature. You read it and it just lights you up. Because now you see that your audience, your client has gotten it. Now they have, they understand. The light bulb has come on. I remember a couple of months ago, I had a girl right in my living room, okay? And beautiful artwork. Beautiful, the way she does jewelry and different things of that nature. But she couldn't see. And her husband had been talking to her for years. Okay, for years. She's working a job that, she shouldn't be working with all her talent. She should be out there selling her portraits, selling, her jewelry. But she's hanging on to something where she living this mediocre life. Mediocre. Barely getting by. And there's something more for her. And when I told her, I didn't ask, I say, somebody had brought this opportunity for us to be vendors at this event, for me to be a vendor at this event. Not, it was brought to me. But you know me. I'm, if the door's open for me, I'm going to stand there and get those who I know it could benefit also, okay? I'm going to hold the door open for you. So I told her, I said, you're going to do this with me. And she did. And she sold many pieces of her artwork. Many pieces of her jewelry. And I seen the motivation or the inspiration inside of her. She came alive. Because, I don't know what she was expecting. But whatever it was, it totally changed the whole countenance of her appearance. A whole countenance. So, what do you have that's in your hands that could bring you a monetary return? Here's another one. When I'm talking about insight to complete your goals or you owning it. Remove those blockages. And just like Robert said, fear is one of them, okay? Fear is a blockage. Fear is doubt, okay? You have to have confidence in who you are. When people tell me that, they're suffering from lack of confidence or self-esteem or any of those things, the first thing I go in there and see if they're lining up with who they are. If they're lining up. Because fear is a blockage. Fear causes doubt. It causes unbelief. It causes all of those things, to block you from achieving your ultimate goal. And it will stand in your way if you allow it to. But once you come into an alignment with who you are and what you have, and have come to the end of you, struggling, that struggle. I don't like, there's certain words you should remove out your vocabulary, like struggling and grinding. And I know it's what the young people say, oh, I'm grinding and stuff, makes it seem good. But some things you should remove out of your vocabulary, okay? Because when you keep saying those words, guess what? It's going to produce an action. And it's going to lead you down that rabbit hole. And which shouldn't be. You have to be aware. Be conscious. I talked about awareness and consciousness, I think, on last week, on one of the live streams last week. Okay? Stability. Stability matters. Going to yesterday, okay? Stability matters. So get stable. Get stable in your mind. And when your mind gets stable, out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speak it. You stop speaking those things, okay? You'll begin to feed yourself with positive things, with affirmations, words that's going to lead you to reach your ultimate goals instead of fighting and blocking you from reaching your ultimate goals, okay? Another one, a blockage could be apathy, unconcerned. Whatever will be, will be. I'm just winging it, I'll get to it when I get to it. Have passion. Instead of, having apathy, have passion. There's something that you love doing. There's something that you know better than anybody else. There's something that you're passionate about. What is it? And women, you're famous for that. You are famous for that. Taking care of everybody else's needs. Making sure everybody else is okay. But when it comes to you, you can't see your value. You can't see what other people are pulling out of you and depending on you for. You can't see it. When you're on the job, your boss he's trying, or he or she, they're trying to get that big project. They're trying to get funding for that big project. And they're calling on you to oversee it, to get it through. But you can't even see it for yourself. What are you passionate about? And guess what? You got it through. And you got them their money. And you receive a thank you. But when it comes to you, because you're caught up in everybody else, making sure everybody else is okay and everybody else got what they need. But when it comes to you, you're too tired. You're too worn out. You're too worn down to think about you and your passion. What is it about me? Ask yourself that question. What is it about me that everybody gravitates to? That everybody pulls on me for? What is it about me that I do better than anybody else? And not saying you're comparing yourself with anybody else, but it's your uniqueness that they're coming after. Your uniqueness that you don't even see about yourself. So remove that blockage of being complacent, of apathy, about being unconcerned about you. You are significant. You're not insignificant. You are significant. And here's the big one, stubbornness. Okay? Stubbornness. See, it's got to be your way. No, it's my way or the highway. You're only seeing it from your point of view. When you're a writer, it has to come from your audience point of view. When you're an entrepreneur, it has to come from your audience point of view. It's not about you at all. I tell you about the money. Money's, I know money answers all things, but it's low on the totem pole. Your service is what matters. How well you're serving your audience. Money will come, but service is going to bring them there. So how well are you serving your audience with their needs, with their concerns, with their pain points? Getting them out of that situation and into an area where they win, where they have an easy win, where they can stop struggling, where they can understand, where they can see themselves. That's the point right there, okay? You have to be willing. Be willing instead of be stubborn. I was talking to a gentleman last week, and he was telling me about, it's got to be his way, stubbornness. I got to do it my way. There's a song about that. I think Frank Sinatra back in the day, I did it my way. Well, we have to be careful about those things, Don't be stubborn. Be willing. If you're willing, you will see, greater things happen in your life. You'll have that insight to complete your goals. And here's the last and final one, okay? Understanding gives you insight. And why does it give you insight? Because your natural eyes are based on your senses, okay? And our natural eyes, they'll trick us. We thought we saw that way, but it really didn't happen that way. But when you see through the eyes of your understanding, it's accurate. It's accurate. When you have taken the time and wrote your vision down, and your mind is stable. It's not wandering all over the place. You're getting an accurate picture. That vision was so accurate this morning, I just wrote those things down. I know exactly what's got to be done at this particular thing that I'm talking about. I wait. If I don't get a picture, I wait. I wait until it comes. I don't force it. There's no force. It's no struggle. It just comes. But you have to open yourself up to receive that. That's why you have to expand your mindset. You can't be stubborn. It can't be your way or the highway. It has to flow. Okay? Without understanding, you'll never see the pitfalls or, obstacles. You'll never see them. You'll never see them. You have to have that insight. The eyes of your understanding has to be enlightened. And that's the only way you'll see those pitfalls and those obstacles. And I also want to say about this, forego reasoning. You know how sometimes you hash around things in your mind, just letting them just drift here and there and everywhere. You'll know exactly. I don't have to think, should I do it this way or should I do it that way? I know exactly what to do because I've seen it. And that's exactly how it's got to be done. Exactly. And I hope y'all are following me with this. And I'm hoping y'all getting an understanding of this. Okay? Because I could go deeper in here. Real deep. And, I go deeper in my class. Everything that I give you here is just a tip of, of everything. You might be saying, well, Gertrude, this is a lot. This is just the tip because it gets much deeper than this. Much deeper. Understanding, you have to listen intently. Don't be stubborn. Receive it. I talked about receiving yesterday. If you never receive, you'll never see it. Okay? And you listen intently. You listen to receive what you need. And when you listen, it paints that picture. And you'll begin to see it with your imagination. You have to allow your imagination to be a part of your vision. You have to. Because you have to see it before you see it, or you'll never see it. That's where that phrase comes from. You have to see it. And the same with your clients or your readers. They have to see it before they see it, or they'll never see it. Write the vision and make it plain. You have to see it. Reason why some people don't buy products and services, because they never see themselves accomplishing, overcoming their pain points. They don't see it. But when they understand, now they'll see. They'll see why. Okay? And this is another one. Seek to understand why. Seek to understand why. And once, I'm going to tell you this, once you understand something, you'll never forget it. You'll never forget it. You could talk to your blue, black, and purple in the face to somebody. You could get in an argument with them. You could get in this, heated debate with them. And if they don't understand it, they won't see it. Point blank, period. So that should remove those times where, you just get fed up with people because they arguing back and forth. They don't understand. So save yourself some time and a headache. And sometimes the friendship. Because they don't understand. Only when they come into an understanding can they see it. Otherwise, they're blind. They're blind. So you don't be blind with them. Understand this. They do not understand. They cannot see. And when you cannot see, you're going to stay right there. You're going to hold that thought. You're going to hold that opinion until you understand. When you understand, now things become crystal clear. Now you're able to let go of what you've been holding on to, and you'll begin to understand that wasn't right, or this wasn't correct, or this is the way it should have been, whatever. But you get the picture. Once you understand something, it becomes a part of you. You possess it. Once you understand it, it becomes a part of you. Now you're possessing it. That's why some people are not moving into what they need to move into. You know why? Because they don't own it. You remember I said in the top, insight to complete your goals. Are you owning it? Okay? Are you owning it? Some people, they're not owning who they said they are or what they say they could do. And maybe that's the reason they're at a standstill. Not maybe, that's the reason that they're at a standstill, because they're not owning it. That's why they're not showing up as the expert that they say they are, because they're not owning it. Maybe that's why they're not moving, down their pathway, because they're not owning it. Look at all the things that's happening. They're either not owning it, they don't know who they are, they have an unstable mind, they're divided within themselves, They're just looking to jump on the bandwagon, whatever it may be. Whatever it may be. Have an insight to complete your goals. Stop wasting your time. It's time to get off the merry-go-round and get in the game. Okay? Get in the game. Walk down your designed pathway. Crush your goals. Okay? Crush your goals. Complete those goals. Take when you complete that goal, move on to the next. Higher heights and deeper depths. But you have to own who you say you are and be unapologetic about it. And I know there's a lot to be said there. And, I have to hold back some stuff because, it's the close of the program and I cannot go into all of this stuff. But insight to complete your goals. Think beyond the way that you're thinking, that ordinary way. Okay? Break the barrier of the limitations that you have accepted into your life. It's time. Work to achieve. You have to achieve. Stop struggling. Stop grinding. But work to achieve. Allow it to flow. Get an understanding. Wisdom is the principal thing. But with all thy getting, get an understanding. Because it illuminates you. It gives you that picture. Crystal clear. Replace blockages. Be willing to release those things that's been holding you back, that's been stopping you from flowing into your design purpose, okay? Down your design pathway to cause you to not maximize your potential and live mediocre and continue to leave money on the table. And remember this, your insight brings you understanding. And understanding gives you insight. Put it that way. Understanding gives you insight. Because once you could see it, now you'll understand. Now you're able to let go of a lot of things that you were holding on to that you just didn't want to be without, because you have taken those things on as a comfort zone because you didn't know anything else. Okay. But you knew what you had and you were comfortable with that. And those things have held you back for so long. It's time to maximize your potential and stop allowing things to hold you back. So I'm glad that you took the time out with me today to allow me to share these nuggets with you. And I hope that this has brought illumination to your life. Don't forget, if you like to know more about the course that I'm creating, give me, go down there at the bottom of the screen and get in touch with me, because this is something that will build you up and will take you to the next level in whatever capacity it is, whether you're that leader out there, you're that author, or you're that entrepreneur. Okay, it's going to build your confidence and self-esteem. So thank you for taking time out of your busy day to be here with me today on Turning Your Passion into Profit Morning Show. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. But remember this is your time. This is your season. This is your turning point. So have a great rest of your day.